Hello, Dr. Modelstein here. It has been quite a while now since I last spoke with you. I hope that all has been well with you and that you have been thoroughly enjoying the Squadron Scale Colors paint. Ever since finishing my research for the colors, I have been tasked with checking the accuracy of tank track designs. I am happy to report that all has been checked, and I believe that the information I have delivered to Jeff will allow for you to offer an excellent product in 1/35th scale 3D tank tracks. With any luck, your customers will be able to see these in person next week at the National Convention. Speaking of the convention, I bet you still haven't finished that Dora model kit, have you? Ha! I wonder if you ever will. Sometimes I doubt it. But then again, you have surprised me on more than one occasion. So we shall see. I took a look through your show and tell presentation for this evening, and there are really fantastic builds to show off tonight. I particularly like that South Pacific Corsair that John did. Make sure to look at Leonard's Stonewall Jackson figure as well. It is stunning. Another kit that caught my eye is Ron's USS West Virginia kit that he turned into USS Maryland from 1943. Those classic resin ship kits are always a joy to see completed. Anthony's X Plus kits are really great to see. And then James sent another diorama he made for his son's classroom too. Another great model that is certain to a welcome addition to the classroom. Speaking of the Squadron Scale Colors paints, Randy Van Dyke finished the 1/6 scale Memphis Belle figure and used the Squadron Scale Colors Skin Tones paint set and did an absolutely fantastic job. I can't wait for you to show that one off tonight. And perhaps my favorite this month is Danny's Dora railgun. You know, the one that he actually finished. Ha! Too bad you don't have yours to show off. Well, I don't want to spoil all the fun, so I will just let you show off the rest of the kits in just a bit.
What's going on, guys? It's Wednesday night, and here we are with Squadron Live once again. Thank you so much for joining us. I think we're going to have a really good time tonight. Every month I talk about, is show and tell going to die? Is it going to continue being a thing? And you guys continue to show out every month, and I'm starting to sound like a broken record when I say this, but this month's show and tell is biggest one we've had yet, and this time by close to almost double our largest prior to tonight. So we will be jumping into the show and tell in just a few moments because there are quite a few pictures to take a look at. Now, I do need to say this, just so you know. A few of you sent me some non-pictures. A couple guys sent some videos in. One or two guys sent a PDF. Now, I haven't kind of figured out how to get the videos worked into the show and tell yet. So those of you who sent videos, I appreciate it, and I want to use the videos, and perhaps by next month's show and tell, I can figure out how to incorporate those into my slideshows. But tonight, those of you who sent videos, unfortunately, they will not be a part of the show. I do apologize, but I intend to get those, get video capability implemented by next month, and I've got your videos saved. We'll do that next month. And the PDFs that were sent, I know there was a very, very cool radial engine that was built. very nice stuff. But by the time I realized that you had sent a PDF, it was too late for me to go in and extract all the information. So I will try to get that done, get the pictures in that PDF extracted by next month. Going forward, the best way to submit your pictures and your information to us, we are going to, since this is becoming a bigger and bigger thing, everybody's enjoying it, I'm going to be putting up a page on our website sometime, hopefully before next month's show and tell, with kind of some guidelines on how we would prefer for you to submit your information as far as image size. I need the name of the subject. I know a lot of things. Jeff knows a lot of things. Russ and Jared know a lot of things, but we don't know everything. And sometimes you guys do some modifications that we're not really sure of. So if that be the case, I'd just really love for you to tell me what you built instead of us having to guess, because we might guess wrong, and I don't want to do that to you. But we'll have some information on that coming soon. But for tonight, we will take a look at quite a few slides. And I'm seeing some some comments in the chat. Thank you guys very much. It looks like you enjoyed the new intro. And I have to say a big thank you to our good buddy Peter. He is the one who rendered and put together those videos of the B-24, the Spitfire, and the B-17 formation. Very, very cool stuff. I think it's the perfect type of feel for our show. And we'll probably be getting some other things from Peter to use in the show from time to time. So again, thank you for that, Peter. Of course, Peter's website is peter4, peterfor.com. And you can check out everything Peter does there, be it videos, images, all sorts of 3D artwork. Very good stuff. I'm kind of moving through things pretty quick today because, like I said, we want to jump into the show and tell as quick as possible. But I got to show you a couple new things, as always. It's magazine week. We got pretty much all of the new magazines, whether it's Phoenix Aviation's aviation modeling, the new AFV modeler. We got the new scale aircraft modeling in the Military Modelcraft International, this month's Fantasy Figures magazine, and then the Doolittle magazines for this month. Well, not this month, but they're finally catching up from being a little behind at the end of 2024. But we've got the latest for us issue of the Tamiya Model Magazine, the Model Airplane International, and the Model Military International. Talk about some tongue twisters. But those are in stock, ready to ship. These H-39s from Tamiya, I've had a lot of emails about when those are coming back in stock. We should have those back in stock in about a week or so, sometime next week. They'll be here. If you are going to the AMPS National Convention next week, I look forward to seeing you. We do have a handful of those kits that we will have available there, along with all sorts of other stuff. So just check that out. Several new things cooking in the works. I mentioned last week that we had a lot of new brands that we were going to be talking about this week, but I didn't realize we were going to have such a massive turnout for the show and tell. So we'll hold off on that, but we do have a lot of new brands that'll be hitting the website within the next week or 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. And I also have to give a big thanks to my dad, Russ. He is hanging out backstage with us. He's going to be helping me a little bit with the moderation in the chat. Not that we've had any problems, but sometimes I miss some of your guys' questions. So he's going to keep an eye out for questions that might pertain to what we're currently talking about, because when I'm looking at these chats, sometimes I'm 10 or 20 or 30 minutes behind what we're actually talking about. So I don't know. It might help a little bit, but I appreciate him jumping in, trying to help us. We'll take all the help we can get. And I guess before we go any further, I need to bring in my co-host that you have been getting used to seeing every Wednesday night. Of course, I'm talking about Jeff. So how are you tonight, Jeff?
I'm beat. I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Well, it
I
doesn't look
am.
like you're in your normal spot.
I am not. I am in the East Coast heart of the United States Navy. I'm in Norfolk, Virginia.
Ah,
Tonight, my
all
daughter
right.
attends Eastern Virginia Medical School here, and
Okay.
she's finishing up, and she graduates next week, so she will officially be doctor. And so
Very good.
I'm here helping her move the apartment and drive back cross country. So
All right.
it's
Well, great.
I
Well,
I
congratulations
was
to
on a
her.
plane at 5 a.m. this morning. I was dragging myself to the airport. So
Well, I appreciate you joining us. We've got a lot of good stuff to look at tonight, as we always do each month for this show and tell. So I guess we'll jump into it in just a minute. I'm just scrolling through the chat trying to see if we can grab a couple of last minute questions before we jump in. I'm going to just give a big blanket welcome and hello to everybody tonight. I know I usually pull you up individually, but I just appreciate y'all being here. Somebody asked, I'm looking for it here, about the P40s. Yeah, there we go. It's Ken. The the Pacific Star P40s. Man, this shipment from Edward, and again, this is not Edward's fault at all. It is not Edward's fault. Thankfully, it's not even our fault. But the container that was coming back in January, it was supposed to be here in February, if I remember correctly. It's been so long now. It missed the ship literally, and it got lost, sat around in the dock over wherever Germany, wherever it was in Europe that they were loading it. And by the time they finally figured it out, so they rerouted it, put it on a different ship. Well, by this time, it's already a month late. It finally gets over here 2 weeks ago, I think. A week to 2 weeks ago, somewhere in there, and customs did their thing. Except they didn't do their normal thing. Usually, if customs grabs your container, they run it through an X-ray or whatever, and it's pretty quick, 2-3 days, sometimes a week or two, whatever, if they're backed up. But this time they're doing what they call a full manual inspection. And this is where they literally open the container and go through each and every single box in the entire thing. Yeah. And here's the problem. When this happens, it goes to a warehouse and gets in line with all the other containers in the same boat. Or, well, the same boat. And the really fun part, we get to pay storage fees in that warehouse until they deem that they're done. So I don't know, Ken, this kit has just become a nightmare for us. Actually, I think we're past the being a nightmare. Now it's just a running joke in the warehouse. Every day somebody asks jokingly if it's going to get here today, but we will eventually get them. And I am so sorry. And if you've been keeping up with this with us, we had another Edward, because of it missing the boat. Edward was going to send us some over by air. Well, that shipment also got held by customs. It's like customs is out for us or something. But that particular shipment is supposed to be here in a few days. I think customs finally cleared it. So one way or the other, perhaps we will get, and we have more P40s on our next order from Edward that'll be shipping in, I don't know, week or two. So between the three orders, surely we will get them at some point this year, maybe. So I am so sorry how long it's been taking us on this kit, but I'm just being transparent, letting you guys know what's going on.
or at least we'll have a surplus of them for IPMS nationals.
Well, if it gets here by then.
This is true.
Oh man. Well, let's jump over here and pull up this first slide. I guess we got a little preview from old Dr. Modelstein of some of the
He was
things we're going to see
wound right
tonight.
up tonight.
Oh yeah. All right. So first up, we've got Brian, and he has done a 1/35th scale AFV club striker. Let's check this out. Nice job on that, Brian.
I am willing to bet that if anyone is going to the AMPS National Convention, see this model in person.
Yeah.
Convention.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I guess you'll miss it.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'll get to see it, and you won't. I'll take you a picture. All right. Next up, we've got John. This you guys in the chat know him as Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. This is his Southwest Pacific Corsair. Let's take a look at this. Very nice.
Love the tonality of the paint. Really well done.
Nice underside view there.
You're kind of in a jazz mood, aren't you?
Yeah, well, you know, I was trying to find something that fit to replace the old music we had, and going through all the things that I could license on the cheap, and this popped up. You should have heard all that. I had about 4 or 5 different songs that made the cut, so to speak, and they were all totally different genres, but I thought this kind of fit the mood. Next up, we've got Chris's 48 scale Tropical Spitfire. You know, somebody once told me that jazz is the least hated music.
I can see that.
Think about that. You know, country or rock or rap or whatever it is, you either love it or you hate it, usually. Jazz, you just kind of, it's fine. And that's why they use them in elevators, supposedly. This is what I've been told, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of chill.
Yeah. I think somebody told us that at some hobby show sometime. He was doing a seminar of how to run your hobby shop. So I don't really remember anything he said other than jazz is the least hated music. So yeah, this is kind of cool here. I just realized this is in American markings.
Took you that long, huh?
Well, I was thinking about jazz music.
Oh, let's see. Got distracted.
Oh, this is nice. Go back. It doesn't tell me how many pictures are left in each modeler's collection here. So sometimes I just, poof, we're gone. So that's a great job, Chris. Thank you for sending this one in. Yeah, Jim said Spitfires don't look the same in American markings. You know, that can probably be said for any aircraft that is used by another nation that's not, you know, generally used, I guess you could say. Think of all the captured planes that, you know, the Germans used of ours or we used of theirs or whatever. Just
Lend-Lease stuff and things like that.
Yep. So, well, cool. All right, moving on to Chris's 72 scale. Which kid? Oh, Edward. I can't read. The Edward kit.
I think I flew on this airplane today.
All right.
This one looks a whole lot better than the one I flew on.
No wonder it took you so long to get there then. If it was in bad shape.
Yeah. Had to get out twice to duct tape the wing.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. Well, in that case, this definitely looks better than what you were flying in.
Yeah.
Nice job. All right, CJR or C Junior. I don't know. That's how he signed it. So this is his Neptune bomber. He said, speaking of things we've flown in, he says this is an exact replica of the one that he flew in.
Without the rice cooker.
Well, we would hope. But, you know, you need a stand. You got to use what you have, you know. All right. Well, very good job on that. Thank you for sending it in. Now, this is Bruce. He sent us these Panthers, I don't know, a month or 2 or 3 ago for the show and tell, but they were work in progress at the time. He has since then finished these, and he has sent us updated and finished and completed images. You might remember these because he's done these cool backdrop drop-ins for his models, but nonetheless, the models are complete now. Those backgrounds are just really neat. Drop that in, kind of brings it to life.
You know, you convert that to black and white, and you add a little grain to it, and you couldn't tell it was not a real photo.
Yeah, that's true.
Or a vintage photo, I guess.
Right,
I should say.
right.
It's kind of like Peter's B-24 there. I had to watch it go cycle through about 10 times before I realized it was a 3D model.
Yeah, a 3D model on a loop.
Yep.
It's pretty crazy what you can do these days.
Yeah, 3D is amazing stuff.
All right. Well, thank you for sending that. We're going to move on to Bob Peters next. Speaking of B-24s, this is his that he's got suspended from his ceiling. Looking in the background there, along with several other planes. It's a good way to display them, I would say. Planes are supposed to fly. Why not make them fly in your room? Nice view of the underside, getting ready to drop the load out. Very nice. All right, so here you go, Jeff. Here's another one of our Wednesday night regulars,
Okay.
James, one of our good friends now, and he has dived into the world of the Squadron scale colors, and this is his first rodeo with them, I believe, in a Tallery kit. Storm Tiger.
Those colors look familiar. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, there you go. Matt says this came out very well. I do agree. CKC model says he didn't say anything about the pictures he sent. That's all right. We'll come up with something, and hopefully we're right. But it's all good.
When they pop up on the screen, just type in
that's
a little
right.
description for us.
Yeah, when you see your model pop up on the screen, if we say anything wrong, or if you want to add to it, that's what the chat's for. Tell us all about it over in the chat. And we'd all love to hear what you've got to say about your models. This your time to shine here, because this is some really nice stuff. There's another view of the inside of this thing. That heart is extremely bright. It's very cool looking. All right. Well, thank you, James. That looks great. Glad that you like the paint. Looking forward to seeing what else you come up with for next time. All right, moving on to Leonard. Last month we had our first submissions from Leonard. You remember he had several figures from Civil War, and I think some even before that. figures, and this is another one. He likes these Ron Tunison sculpts, and this is Stonewall Jackson. And last month we weren't quite sure what scale these things are, so he let me know this month, and he says they're around 200 millimeter, which comes out to somewhere in the ballpark of 1/9 scale.
That is not a small model.
No. Yeah, this thing looks great. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. How to overcome this modeling block? You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I forget which one of you guys built it, but we'll see it in a few minutes. There's the Lost in Space robot, and forgive me who built it. We'll find out in just a few minutes. But that was his kit to get him out of modeler's block. He grabbed something different, little 24 scale robot. Didn't take long to build, and he had a great time building it, and poof, he's back in the game. So I guess I would say grab something that's completely different than you normally build and just glue something together and slap some paint on it and see what happens.
Or actively take on something that you don't normally do, meaning a technique.
Yeah.
You know, get yourself a paint mule and, you know, say, I'm going to teach myself how to do pre-shading or post-shading or modulation or something.
That's right.
Like that.
Try some, you know, if you don't use an airbrush, try an airbrush. If you don't use brushes, try brushes. If you don't use weathering pigments, try that. If you don't, yeah, that's right. That's a good idea. Try models that you don't normally build. Try techniques. That's a great idea, Jeff.
And don't jump into a massive project like a 35th scale Dora. If you have modeler's block, and I say that jokingly, but if you have modeler's block or something along those lines, pick up a project that you will be able to finish in a reasonable amount of time. Nothing will drag you down quicker than taking on a project that is so large or so time consuming that you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Modeler's block is beaten by finishing something and having something to show for your efforts. So even if it's a, you know, try a 1/35th scale, you know, container, a Connex, or build a dumpster, 35th scale.
There you go.
Something simple,
anything,
something that will keep you entertained, and you know, it opens up the.
There you go, Stephen. Yep. That's funny. All right. Well, let's move. Of course, this one's next. Speaking of things that can't be finished, talking about mine, Danny actually got his done. Now, granted, it is smaller than mine at 1/44 scale, but as you will see, even in 1/44th scale, these Dora rail guns,
big model.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's now the company that makes this is Soar Art. It's actually the same company that does the big one. And actually, if you have this kit, you'll notice a Fujimi logo on it. This was actually originally tooled up and offered by Fujimi. I don't know if Soar Art bought the tooling from them, licensed it, whatever the case may be, but it's kind of a joint project between the two companies. But yeah, Danny knocked this one out, and Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's been working on this but a few weeks. I mean, it was just a few weeks ago that he told us over on our Facebook group that he was going to be starting this thing, and then poof, here we are, it's done. So great job, Danny. Yeah, Bill says it's still big. Very cool. There's one final look at it. I see you down there, Ron. You're late, but you hadn't missed your stuff yet, buddy. Your kit's coming up. Let's see. All right. Well, thank you for sending that, Danny. That's pretty awesome. Just so you guys know, there you go. I told you last week that I had all the sub-assemblies done. There they are. Everything's laid out, and I've started painting it. What I underestimated this. The display base for the thing is massive. It's taking forever just to paint those and figure out how in the world I'm going to ever pick this thing up and move it. I guess I'm going to have to, I don't know, maybe put it on a piece of wood. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I laid that thing out. It was massive. I'm like, gosh. So, all right, moving right along, some more from Danny. And I don't know why that is sideways. When I export these PowerPoints, sometimes it does really weird things. And this is weird. Danny, I apologize, buddy. That is not supposed to look like that. But this is his Iowa from Atlantis Models. There we go. There's a good picture of it. So, yeah, not only does he get a Dora completed, but he also figures out ways to get other kits in addition to that completed in the same time.
I glued my figures together last week.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think we've all been there. That's why I like Tamiya cement so well. You can't do that with Tamiya cement.
Yeah, I was fixing a coffee cup.
And it can't help you there, buddy. This is a model kit building show.
Yeah, I know. The coffee cup episode will be next week.
There you go. All right. Well, that is it for the first group of slides. Poof. There we are. All right. Coming up next.
I'm just chilling out to the jazz.
Oh, that's all right. That's what it's for. You need your coffee cup now.
Nah, I got the battery acid.
No. Oh, man. All right. Let's see what we've got here. So here is Ed Groon's PowerPoint. He always lays his own PowerPoint out for me, and it's as much of a surprise to me as it is you guys, because he enjoys doing that. So he sends it over to me, and I'll pop it up here. So this is his 72 scale kit from Modelsvit, the Boomin' Beaver. That's good, Ed. Yep. That's funny. I could see a Little Tikes tugboat as a scale model.
I saw one. Someone had done it on. It was on Facebook, and a guy had a Little Tikes tugboat, and he had an electric trolling motor on it, and he actually got pulled over by, I don't know, the water police or whatever, and he had all the paperwork for it. He had legitimately registered it.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Yeah, Jose's in here with us. Yeah, it's good to see you tonight, buddy. I've got your build coming up. Jeff, not Jeff. Well, yeah. Hey, Jeff. Looking at Ed here. We'll move on to his next slide and give you guys a little bit more information on that. Yeah, this looks really good.
Put my phone on mute, huh?
Yeah, getting dinged up there. Yeah, Ed's dealing with a lot of flash on this kit, replacing a lot of stuff with evergreen rod. Whenever you got to get into the evergreen stash, you're in for some fun. But at the end of the build, it's always rewarding seeing all that work that you've had to do.
Eventually, if you get into the evergreen enough, you end up scratch building an entire ship.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, this is just a tiny little thing, Ed. Russell. Yeah, I think we're still talking about the Tikes tugboat. Oh, wow. All right. So Ed just took it to a whole nother level. It has a full interior. Such as it is, he says. Yes, tiny. The small parts are very fragile. The new Squadron nippers helped somewhat. Handrails wanted to break if you looked at them wrong. Oh, man. Well, either way, yeah, that turned out very nice. Decal sheet included. All right. Well, great job on that. Next on Ed's list is his Doyusha reboxed the Hobby Boss Mitsubishi Claude in 72 scale. So let's check this out. I did not realize that Doyusha reboxed Hobby Boss's kits. I guess I should not be surprised. I knew that Doyusha was back in business, so that's good to hear. Good old Scalemates. Yeah, Scalemates is a wonderful way of finding out the history of some of these kits, you know. We like those guys. We advertise with them in their marketplace. You'll see our Squadron listings over there from time to time. Chroma Air paint. Very good. And good old Steinelrez from Badger. You know, I have no idea if this is true or not, but I was told that Steinelrez primer, they named it that because it works on styrene, resin, and vinyl. So, I mean, whether it's true or not, it certainly sounds like it could be true. Oh, man. And Ed, I apologize. It looks like the bottom of the last sentence there is cut off. So if I'm missing any information for everybody, throw it over there in the chat. Kit supplied decals, no instructions, followed the lead of some, and we don't have the rest of it. So sorry that got cut off there. Now we got another submission in Ed's book here. Looks like we got 3 more pictures left for Ed. So let's see what we've got. Ooh. Get back here. 72 scale crop duster, A37. All right. Looks like, okay. Same build contest in your IPMS club. Very nice.
A37 would probably be a great crop duster.
Well, we're about to see one. Okay. Ed said the last sentence here, I followed the lead of some internet sources. Okay. Makes sense. All right, well, let's check this out. You know, Ed, you always come up with something interesting. You know, I'm thinking about all your P51 racers and just all the things that you've sent us for the show and tell over the last year. You've always got something interesting, and this certainly fits that bill.
This just gets the brain going. That's
yeah. It's like, hey, what can I do that's different with this kit? If you need an idea, ask Ed. He'll come up with something weird. Weird in a good way. Tweety's Ag Services. Well, I like it, Ed. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Thank you for sending that. I like how it makes us disappear after every time I turn that thing off. I don't know. All right. I don't know. Oh, there it is. All right. Huh?
I said, we're pretty mellow tonight.
Yeah, that's all right. It's because we have a lot of good stuff to look at. You and me don't have to keep this going tonight. The model kits are speaking for themselves.
That's good, because I think I'm falling asleep at the wheel here.
I could just, turn it back to the Red Alert Hell March and put that on a loop. Of course, then you'll be banging your head over there the whole time. All right, so this is Michael's 72 scale artillery kit, the DC-130, the Hercules drone controller. And he has also got us this is the ICM, I believe it is, Firebee target drone. And he has modified it slightly out of what's in the box. And I went way too fast. There's the kit. Yeah, that's nice. Did he say that's 72 scale? Yes, 72 scale.
I've always wanted to do this airplane in 32nd scale.
That would be ginormous. That would be very ginormous. Be awesome, though. I think this one could ride inside the 32nd scale one.
I got a B-29 in 32nd scale, but I need to finish
that resin kit.
No, it's actually a vacuform.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be massive. All right, and here's that Firebee. Again, it didn't say it in his information there, but I could have sworn he said this was the ICM kit, but
I know what this music reminds me of.
Okay.
It's the background music for every Charlie Brown Christmas special we've ever watched.
There you go. Nice. I like it. Well, this is great stuff, Michael. Thank you for sending these in. And up next, Ron, you said you were late, but I told you hadn't missed out yet. You were up next, buddy. This is Ron's 350th scale USS Maryland that he built out of the West Virginia kit from Blue Water Navy. And I'll leave this up on the screen for a minute there. You can read through there. He's got all sorts of aftermarket goodies, which you would, to stay up with today's standards, you would certainly want aftermarket stuff for these old Blue Water kits. They were excellent kits in their time, but like Ron did, throw some Model Monkey and Edward and Black Cat and all these other things that you have available these days, and you can turn it into something awesome. Lounge music. Well, this is the model lounge tonight, I guess. So here's Ron's, Ron's most proud of this part of his build. He's basically scratch built this upper area using, I say scratch built, I mean he used aftermarket 3D parts and brass tapered parts and all that kind of stuff, but he had to construct it all, and I say it turned out pretty good. Hey, there's Mike. 1995. Yeah, Mike's got a tank coming up here in the one of the next few slides. And Randy is with us too. Everybody's joining us tonight. Good to see you, Randy. You hadn't missed yours yet either. Yep. Beautiful work indeed, Ron. Oh, there you go. Ron says that the rest is okay. The yard was brass tapered. Yeah, you can kind of see that. It's very tapered on both ends, very nice looking, but the rest is music wire. So cool. Very nice. Oh, and speaking of Ron, you will soon be getting a package in the mail, Ron, with a bottle of the Mountbatten Pink. We just got those finished up based on your research. Turned out pretty good. So I'm looking forward to using that on something soon. probably that Atlanta class cruiser. All right. Very nice. We got one more, this one, and one more look at Ron's Maryland, and then we'll see who we've got up next. Steven got his Olympic kit the other day. Did you get it in 200 scale or 700 scale? Just curious. Both of those are new kits and good kits. Just curious which way you went. Next up, we've got Derek, and he has built a 72 scale Sherman M4 in mid-production using good old faithful Tamiya paint. 200 scale, Stephen. Thank you. That's not only is that a nice kit, it's a huge kit. So looking forward to seeing what you do with that one day. It's very impressive when completed. I've not seen the Olympic completed. I've seen the Titanic version completed, but I'm looking forward to seeing Olympic with that Dazzle paint scheme. I always love seeing a little 72 scale tank sitting in the palm of somebody's hand. Just, I don't know. Yeah, you know, we talk a lot about our paint, Jeff, but you know, he said he built this with Tamiya's paint, and we always say it about Tamiya's model kits that you can't go wrong with Tamiya, but I think that statement probably holds true to the entire range of Tamiya products, whether it's kits, paints. Somebody was talking about our Squadron tweezers in the chat a few minutes ago, and I mean we make some excellent stuff too. I love our stuff, but Tamiya is one of those brands that there's very few things that I've ever tried from Tamiya that I wasn't happy with.
They're kind of the industry standard. They're kind of the benchmark.
Yeah,
and it's funny because when you hear people talking about new products, any new paint product, whether it's Scale Colors or any of the other manufacturers, inevitably the conversation always kind of reverts back to, well, does it spray like Tamiya?
right.
They've kind of set the benchmark.
Dancing barefoot there, so can't beat it Tamiya. Yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. I mean, honestly, and I think this holds true for me. I love what we've got going on with the Squadron Scale Colors. And I think even with you for the past several years, your main focus was very specific colors. And I think that's, if there were anything negative to say about Tamiya's paints, which it's not a negative about the actual product, but the only thing that you ever hear is, man, I wish they had, fill in the blank, whatever color. But the colors that they do offer, they're nice. And Derek has done a great job here. So very nice. Thank you for sending that in. All right, so if you were here during the countdown and you got to hear what Dr. Modelstein said, he was talking about James building another diorama for his son's classroom. Well, that's what this is. So this is his third, and if I remember correctly, final diorama that he built to go in his son's classroom. And this is several things from like a Tallery figure sets that he kind of put all together, woodland scenic stuff, whatever, old Roman cavalry and infantry and all this kind of stuff. So let's take a look at what he's got. Very interesting, a little different than what we normally see, and very welcome, because it's always cool to see something different. Oh, there we go.
I never had stuff like this in my classroom when I was a kid.
Nope. Me neither.
We had a U.S. cavalry fort that was made out of popsicle sticks. That was the extent of the models in our classroom when I was growing up.
Well, I would say this is quite a few steps above that. This is really, really neat. Well, you said that this is the third and final one, but I hope that you don't stop there, James. These are very cool. I hope everybody remembers the first two that you did that we featured on the show, in previous months. But hopefully this isn't your last, because it's very cool. Always welcome to see these. So please do another one, even if it's not for the classroom. Do something that you would like, because you do a great job on these dioramas, and I appreciate you sending that in. Next up, we've got Terry, and these going back to Mia yet again. These are their large scale car models, their 1/12 scale collection. This is a Ferrari kit, 1970 Formula One season in the Mexican Grand Prix. Let's take a look at that. There you go.
Back when the days when it was real racing.
Yeah. The large scale cars like this, of course, Tamiya's got several, and a few of the other companies have done one here and there. But whenever you see them done up nice like this, it's a different kind of impressive to me, because, we can build our tanks and our planes and our ships, and you can hide a lot of mistakes with weathering. And, well, the tank ran through the mud and splashed on itself, and you come up with whatever excuse, and we all just say, oh yeah, it looks good. You can't hide stuff like that on these kind of builds. And the guys that are good at this, like what we're looking at right here, it's just very, very impressive to me. And I can't do this. I don't know about you, Jeff, but this is just really nice job, Terry.
Well, I don't know that I could do this good a job, but I got a few of these in the stash that I think I'm going to be motivated to jump into.
There was a company, one of the guys that used to work with us was a big fan of Model Factory Hero kits.
Studio 27 and those guys.
All that stuff. We used to sell some of those from time to time back in the Free Time Hobbies days. And oh my gosh, some of those were just, I could not believe the detail you would literally build the engine, like put the pistons in it and stuff. It's just very, very crazy. So, all right. Well, thank you for sending this in. Very cool. Looking forward to seeing more of these types of kits from you in the future. Yeah, Brett says Porsche models. That's another one that does humongous car models. And you guys thought that a 35th scale Dora was an expensive model. Yeah, look at some of those Model Factory Hero kits and some of those Porsche kits. They are just, they're worth every penny that you pay for them, because the level of detail is phenomenal.
The Porsche kits, I believe they've been out of production for a very long time, and
a lot of them have been. Go ahead.
I remember when they came out with the Ferrari. I don't know if it was a Testarossa or an F40. It was one of the supercars. Porsche. Whatever.
Look at that. Matt is correcting us. Pronounced poker. Okay. I did not know that. Yeah. Thank you for correcting us there.
Anyway, when this kit came out, I wanted that kit, and back in the day, it was probably about a $300 or $400 kit, and I, of course, didn't have the money. I had spending money on other things, and I actually saw one online a couple of weeks ago, and I think they wanted like $4,000 for it.
I believe it. Well, they are actually still in production. Not the old kits, but they have new releases. They've had like some Lamborghinis and stuff. And even though we don't really have them on the Squadron website, we actually can get those kits. And we get them from time to time. Customers will email us and say, hey, can you get this for me? So if any of you guys are interested in the poker kits, as I now know how to pronounce it, let me know. They have very, very, very limited releases of their new kits. They usually do like one kit a year. But if anybody wants one, I can certainly get it for you. So just let me know if they announce something that you would be interested in.
I'll be calling you tomorrow.
Oh man. All right. Well, moving right along. This is Larry, and he gave us no descriptions on this. It is definitely a Jeep. As far as exactly which kit and what scale and all that fun stuff, we don't know, but we'll take a look at it anyway. Wow. Yeah, Matt says anything under $500 is a steal for an old poker kit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm just gonna laugh at that, Ed.
there you go. Well, Larry, thank you for sending your Jeep in. This is nice. I like how you've got the
It looks like it's considerably larger than 35th scale.
It does, because look at the paintbrush sitting next to it.
Yeah.
You know, just looking for something else in the room to give scale, and directly behind it.
Could that be the Dragon kit in 1/6?
You know, I guess it could be. I mean, look behind it at that paintbrush stand. Larry, if you happen to be in the chat with us, drop a comment in there and let us know what scale this is. Yeah, I don't know. It looks perhaps like an older kit, so I would doubt if it's one of the. Is there even a 16th scale Jeep that's out right now? I can't think of one. I'm sure there's been one, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe Larry's in the chat. Maybe he'll tell us. Heck, it could be something totally different that we're not thinking of. So either way, it looks very cool, and I appreciate Larry sending that in. All right, next up here's Mike. This is speaking of 16th scale, this is a T-34. Well, let me read this. RTM models. Okay. I see. So he's built the trumpeter kit and he's replaced the turret. Gotcha. If I'm reading that correctly. Mike's in the chat, so correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. But this is cool. It's neat how you can take a plastic kit, grab a resin conversion, and just completely, totally change it into, basically another vehicle.
Yeah. I did the big T-34-85 for fine scale way back in the day. Back in the 90s, it was a cover model. And I picked up a second kit and got a conversion for the SU-85, which there's a kit of it out now, but all those resin parts sat in the box. I just didn't have it in me to tackle another one of these models, but it was a fun build. It's actually a really, really nice build.
Okay.
It's great.
Hey, Mike, Bill wants to know, let us know in the comments how you did that. Did you use putty? Did you freehand it? Or did you do something else? Let us know how you did your camo there. It looks nice.
Freehand.
Yeah. All these guys are talking about 16th scale Jeeps, 24 scale Jeeps, 18 scale Jeeps, Recon model says. So who knows what that was. Hopefully we can find out one of these days if Larry pops in here. Camo was freehand, Mike Bishop said. Very good. Yeah, Jeremiah says, talking about the weathering and the rust. Very nice indeed. Very cool, Mike. Well, thank you for sending this in. One last look at that real quick. There you go. Grex Airbrush. Freehand camo. Very good. All right, moving right along, we've got Doug, and my PowerPoint is doing its crazy thing again, flipping pictures on its side. So hopefully the pictures we're about to see are not messed up, Doug, but if they are, I apologize in advance. But let's see what we've got. He's got a Lindbergh I-19, that big old 72 scale kit. I believe a Revell version of the USS Missouri. And then one that I thought was interesting, we've got an Enterprise flying over an Enterprise. So let's see what we've got here. Yeah, going back to the Jeeps, Randy says Tacom made a 16th scale Jeep. That's the one, Jeff, that I was thinking about. I knew that we had one in the shop at some point. I just couldn't remember who it was. But that kit we were looking at does not look like that kit in particular. So we will find out one day. Well, here's the Missouri. Nice job on that. We say Revell. Yep, Revell. And Doug, I have to apologize. My PowerPoint thing did its thing and flipped your submarine up on its side. But if everybody can do this real quick, we can take a look at that.
I'm falling over. I'm out of my chair if I do that.
Well, these are these kits. These were put out by Lindbergh several years ago. There were two of them. I don't remember. They're two different versions of basically the same sub. I just forget what the differences in the two were. But this is a massive
Kai-10.
Okay.
I think one had a Kai-10 mini sub, and I think the other was just the standard
right
fleet.
Okay. Well, they're very big. We've actually, one of our good buddies and local customers, Fred, actually built one of these and brought it up, and it's on display in our store, and it's massive. It's sitting in a 4-foot display case, takes up the whole display case. It's like every bit of 3 to 3.5 feet long. It's a big kit. So you did a nice job on that. I appreciate you sending it. And again, sorry that the picture got flipped on its side. Now here is the when I said the Enterprise flying over the Enterprise. So this is an interesting way to create a what if situation. And Jeff, you know me, I'm all about what if stuff in modeling. The wackier the better for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very cool. Well, I appreciate you sending those in. Yeah. Jeremiah says, good peek at his stash. You know, it's funny. We have all sorts of different kind of pictures. Some pictures with a pure white background, some with the dropped in, realistic looking background, and then sometimes you get the stash in the background. I like them all.
I just had a really cool idea.
It's nice just to see these stashes. What's your really good idea?
We do an episode just on show us your stash.
Yes, so that'll be cool. Yeah, let's work that into the schedule in the next few weeks. Yeah, show us your stash. That's good. Are you going to win the contest?
Shh.
There you go.
My wife might be watching. We don't talk about the model stash if the wife is watching.
Well, Brett and Steven and Bill, they all think it's a good idea. So yeah, let's do that, guys. Start figuring out how you're going to get all your stash together in one spot to take a picture. That's going to be my biggest problem. And we'll figure it out. All right. Up next, we've got Benton. And all right, so Benton, you sent me these in a full sheet kind of thing, and it didn't really fit in our layout. So I did the best I could for you. We're still showing it all off. But you've got a 35th skill chieftain, another Tamiya kit, and a 72 skill challenger, painted up in a fantasy scheme, talking about the what if stuff, a digital paint scheme. So let's check this out. Here's your Tamiya kit, 35th skill chieftain. Very nice look at that.
I really, really, really like that layout. That is a really cool way of presenting a finished model. Well done.
Oh yeah. Well, when he sent it to me, and you'll have to think of this, Benton, in future episodes. If you'll send it to me in this, this layout, we can pop it right up on the screen. You send it to me like if I was printing this out on a sheet of paper, it would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I wonder if we could do that as a template.
Oh yeah, well it's a what is it, 1920 by 1080.
Yeah.
We'll add that to, that'll be part of the web page that we put up on how to submit your information.
I'm working on an article for the basics of model photography, so that'll be up on the website as well when we get that information up and running.
That's funny. Did you see what Jeremiah just said? He said that picture should be the image that Tamiya puts on the box.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Here you go. Awesome.
That's cool.
Yep. Very nice job on that one. Let's check out your challenger here. Again, painted up in a fantasy paint scheme, but very nicely done.
Didn't they put the digital camos on the challengers? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. This is something that you and I were talking about the other day, Jeff. When a modeler builds a model, not all the times, but a lot of times, we do a lot of research on whatever the subject is we're building. So if that be the case, if he's calling this a fantasy scheme, I would tend to believe that perhaps he looked and figured out that they haven't used the digital scheme on it. Perhaps, I don't know. Whether they really use it or they don't really use it, this model turned out great, and I don't think that I would really want to paint a digital camo scheme. I've never done one. Kind of scares me.
Notice what Ken commented. If you look at the base of the model, it's binary. It's binary code.
Good eye, Ken. I wasn't even looking at the base. That okay. Very neat. That's awesome.
And this takes us back to that post where Jeremiah was talking about modeler's block. Even looking at something like this, whether it's a fantasy scheme or whether it's a scheme that was actually on a model is irrelevant at this point. Right. You see something like that and it motivates you, or it gives you an idea, or it gives you inspiration. I was told a long time ago when I worked at Fine Skill Modeler that a good story has to have three things. It has to educate, it has to inspire, and it has to entertain. And if you have one of those things, you've got an okay story. If you have two of those things, you've got a good story. But if you can get all three, you have a great story. And when you look at a model like this,
story then. I mean, we've been educated. A model
like this,
we've been educated. They haven't used digital camo on challengers. It's inspiring.
It inspires you.
And what was your third thing?
Entertaining.
Oh, this is certainly entertaining, or at least it is for me. I hope it is for you guys. All right. Well, thank you very much for sending that. That looks excellent. Let's see who we've got next here. Here's David Sanchez. This is his 35th scale, yet again, Tamiya kit. We should start keeping tabs every show and tell on how many Tamiya submissions we have. Because it's like every other kit is a Tamiya kit, which is not a problem. I mean, just you can't go wrong with it.
Maybe there's an idea. Maybe there's an idea for an episode. Is that post your best Tamiya kit.
There you go. There you go. Well, this is David's M10. Did a good job on this. In 35th scale. Nicely done interior. It's crazy how interiors on tanks have kind of become basically just a common thing. It's like this standard now.
Yep.
So very cool.
Well, the M10 and the subsequent M36, M18. I mean, they were technically tank destroyers. They were open top vehicles.
That's a good point. I guess you kind of can't not do the interior. Yeah.
You got to kind of be able to have to look down and see something there.
Oh yeah, that is true. All right. Well, thank you for sending that, David. That looks really nice. Looking forward to seeing what you've got in the future. All right, and up next we've got a new guy joining us. This is Matt. Matt's Models Customs. Another tongue twister. I want to say Matt's Custom Models, but Matt's Models Customs. He runs a YouTube channel and shows you how he does what he does. He does a lot of figures, and this is from Filmy's Girls, Gabriella, which is a pirate-themed kit. You can see here's Pirate's Gold. You know, Jeff, this is going to put us into Wonderfest mode. Of course, Filmy's Girls is one of the big sponsors up there. Everybody always likes seeing what they've got cooking up.
That's coming up at the end of the month.
It is. Excited about that. Yeah, this particular kit actually was one of the Wonderfest exclusives last year. So it's always neat to see convention exclusives. You know, when you've got certain model kits that you can pretty much only get at the convention.
Yep.
So you always get some of that at Wonderfest, and perhaps that'll come back to being a thing at IPMS one of these days. Yeah, and this kit, by the way, is 1/6 scale. So the figure or the girl herself stands at about 12 inches tall, 11 or 12 inches tall. So that whole
not a small model.
Yeah, sometimes these models, you know, you can't, and not just figures, but everything. It's hard to tell how big they are. We'll go back here. So thank you for sending that, Matt. I look forward to seeing what you've got in the future. Moving on, here's Randy's. That's Matt. We've been talking to Matt all night and didn't realize that was the same Matt. Matt, I appreciate
1/5 scale.
1/5 scale. Okay.
Even bigger.
Yeah, 1/5 versus 1/6. You get confused sometimes on what's what. So, but no, Matt's got a lot of other really cool stuff that we'll hopefully get to show off on the future shows. He does a lot of comic book figures. I saw some of his X-Men. So very, very neat to see. All right, next up we've got Randy Van Dykes, and this is one of my favorites, and I only say that because this is our kit that we put out. And if any of you guys were curious about how this kit turns out, this is how it turns out. And the good thing, or the cool thing, is this was painted with Squadron scale colors using an airbrush. And I know a lot of people were curious, how can you paint a figure with an airbrush? This is how. And Randy used our skin tone set, the 6 colors from that, who he actually helped us pick out and design those particular shades. And he used our red, and he used our yellows to do the hair. The only thing that he did not use our paint for is the base that you'll see in a moment. And that's kind of my fault because I didn't send him the browns and the different colors he would need for the base. But in case you guys are curious, the inspiration for doing this kit is the B-17 Memphis Belle. As you can see from this angle of Randy's picture, it's pretty much spot on for what she looks like on the side of the B-17. And our sculptor Roberto did a pretty good job, I think, of coming up with what what her face would look like. So, but this is Randy's work on this. So I appreciate you getting this sent over to us, Randy. And again, this is 1/6, 1/5, whatever we're calling it. She's about 13 or 14 inches tall.
Beautiful work, Randy.
I think this model matches our background music.
Yeah, it does.
Stephen Cole just saw the real Memphis Belle last week. Very cool. Speaking of seeing real airplanes, I can't wait. The day we leave for Wonderfest, we're stopping by the airport here in town to see Fifi, the B-29. So I'm very excited to see that. Here's one final look at Randy's build here. A little bit of a close-up on that face. So like I said, guys, airbrushing figures is possible. Now, one of the interesting things, Jeff, that Randy told me, I actually sent Randy a test bottle of our, we talked about we were going to bottle up the flow agent, the flow improver, and sell that. In our bottles of paint, they spray straight out of the bottle. We put the flowing improver, the thinner, we do it all in there. But sometimes when you're like Randy, you need your paints to be extremely thin. And believe it or not, if you've got any of our paint, it's really thin. But believe it or not, Randy thins it down way more than we even thin it down. And he said that adding that flow improver stuff into it helps thin it down, and worked out perfectly for his workflow. So
excellent. And again, those are the types of things that you don't think about when you're actually producing the paint. And only from dozens and hundreds of customers experimenting with the product and finding innovative ways to do things, do you find out that, wow, if I want to do, layering and transparent layers, that adding flow control to it to actually, thin the paint out even further. I never would have thought of that. I use it for, I have it for technical reasons, for chemical reasons, to make the paint flow better through the brush.
Well, that's fine. So, Randy figured out how to use it to make the paints transparent, and his work, that's testament to it. So
shows.
Well, very good, Randy. Well, I appreciate that. Looks like up next we've got Thomas. And he has got, I don't have any description on what these are, Thomas. So if you are in the chat, let us know what we're looking at. A couple of these the models are sitting by the boxes so we can see what they are, but we'll just take a look. I've got it labeled as an assortment of your models. So, oh man, I got to figure out why this is doing this, Jeff. Messing up the pictures, but hopefully we got another picture of that. Steven, the flow improver is not available on the website yet. It will be soon. We have been burning it at both ends, trying to get ready for the AMPS convention next week, and we've got a bunch of new paint that we are going to have available at the show next week, and then it'll be on the website after the show, and the flow improver is a part of all that. Yeah, Randy will have the Memphis Belle in our booth at Wonderfest. So anybody that's at Wonderfest, you can see Randy's work in person. And if you catch Randy at the right moment, you might get a word with him, because he's always at the show too. he'll be hanging out with Mark at the Filmies girl table. So go say hello to him.
I'll be there painting dinosaurs.
Yeah, and that's right. Jeff will be there painting dinosaurs. So we'll all be there. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Moving right along here, this a cool boat, Orlando, Florida, is its labeled or named. Man, this is bad. I apologize, guys. I don't know why. I don't know what causes it to do this when I export these slides. I'm going to have to figure it out, though. I feel bad whenever this happens. Look at this. It's ruining the pictures. Oh, there we go. There's a good shot of it. Yeah, Matt, you do need to give the paint a try. And give me a call sometime and let me know what colors you might need, and I'll let you know what we have. Maybe you'll like it. We got all sorts of goodies to look at. All right, moving along here. These are some of his old Aurora kits. As you can see, the box in the background. Oldies but goodies.
If I remember correctly, I think this kit actually came with a small piece of uranium. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
late.
know
I'm
why it's
tired.
messing these pictures up. Gosh, I feel bad. All right, I'm going to figure out why these pictures are messed up, and we're going to put them in next month's show because this is bad. I'm sorry it messed all of them up. So we'll get those into next month's show. I'll figure out what happened to those, and we'll show these off the right way, buddy. I apologize, but we'll make it right. All right, moving along to Anthony. He's got a little collection here of X Plus kits, going back to the Wonderfest vibe. This particular subject matter here is pretty much why Wonderfest was created. Old school monsters, and I love the way that he has done these in that old, black and white movie color tones.
Hey, I know her. Sorry. I think I went to high school with her.
Well, this is X Plus's Bride of Frankenstein kit, which out of the box you can build it two different ways, and he looks like he has got him a couple of them and built it both ways. And actually, I think you might be able to build it both out of the box. I can't remember, but either way, he's done a nice job on his. This is a full view of it, and
It's very cool.
as we'll see in a second, he's got three more. He's a big X Plus fan, and on that picture on the right, you can see the X Plus Vampirella in the background. So, and these X Plus kits, these are 1/8 scale, Jeff, by the way. So, not small by any means, very nice size. And I think 1/8 scale is kind of the classic Aurora monster size, and I think that's why X Plus went with 1/8 scale.
Oh, I think they were done for boxes, right? They were originally a box
Back
scale.
in the day, yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't know if they actually called them 1/8 scale back then, but that's kind of what it turned into. Yeah, there's my dad there, loving the black and white look, and yeah, I agree with you. That's what the subject matter is. So very cool to see these done up that way.
Have you ever seen it was right around the time that color film was first being used in stills. And I think it was the Munsters. Maybe it was.
I'm only 40, Jeff. I don't remember that. I'm only 40.
Sorry.
No,
And
I'm joking with you. Real quick.
They actually did.
That. Bill, these figures are plastic. No, they're plastic.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
They did a side-by-side
Okay.
of how the set of the Munsters looked on the screen in black and white.
Oh, okay, okay.
Then they did the still photo of how it actually appeared in color.
Okay.
And it just completely shatters the illusion of the nostalgia of the black and white.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, because you have this idea of what it's supposed to look like, but when you're creating those scenes, you've got to use colors that translate into black and white and gray tones on a TV screen. So, when you think, oh, that's supposed to be I don't know, a
Yeah,
red cape.
Ron
Might
Ron
not
just
be.
elaborated. It was the Adams family. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
set was
it was
pink.
absolutely wild because the colors had to provide the contrast in black and white, but
Right.
they weren't normal colors because they needed that exaggerated contrast for black and white. It was really kind of weird.
Well, this is very cool to see these done up in the black and white. So, very much so looking forward to seeing what else you come up with, Anthony, in the future.
We'll probably see you at Wonderfest at the end of the month.
Yeah, hope you're there. Hope to see these kits there. All right, moving along. Bill sent us one picture each of a few kits here, so we'll take a look at these. Steven says, "Ron, was it Mountbatten Pink?"
All right, Steven, I'm supposed to be the comic guy tonight.
That's good. That's good. All right, so take a look here real quick because they're not individually. They're not individually labeled, but we're going to be looking at Hawk Convair 240, Fowler Convair 340, Minicraft kit, DC4. I mean, just take a look at this list, guys, because this is what we're going to be looking at here. Oh, Ken says they did the same thing in the Star Trek. All right, here we go. Did he say what scale these are? He did not. Well, one of them, 172 scale. So
if it's Hawk, I think it's probably box scale.
that's a good point.
See, I'm old enough to remember Hawk, unlike you.
Well, I know Hawk. It's part of round 2 now, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Such a beautiful airplane.
Well, I got to agree with you. All right. Well, oh, look at that. Gotta love it. Sorry about that.
Oh, come on. That's not fair. The World War II's worst fighter. No. That's not fair.
Everybody's got an opinion, you know. All right. Well, here is Sonny's 32 scale P40. Built from the Great Wall kit, and my slideshow's doing its thing again. Golly, this is terrible. I am sorry. This is supposed to be sideways. You get every one of them's messed up. Sonny, I apologize. We're going to add this. I'm going to fix it. We're going to add it to next month's show, and we'll take a better look at that because you did a fantastic job on this, and I want to be able to show it off the correct way. So we'll move on to Craig. He's got a kit built out of the Tacom box. This forklift thing that I'm not even going to try to pronounce the actual name of.
If I say it, it'll probably get censored.
Oh, man. Yeah, Tacom's got some interesting things like this, you know, through the years that they've done.
I love how, and I don't remember who started it. It may have been Hasegawa when they started doing like construction equipment and
right
industrial stuff that we don't normally see. I mean, there were companies that had done bulldozers and commercial equipment, but this is is just something you don't see every day. You know, it's really cool.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things we were talking earlier about. Modeler's block. If you're tired of tanks and planes, you grab something like this.
Yep.
So, did a good job on that. I appreciate you sending it in. Very nice. Gonna move on to Jimmy. He's got a 32 scale BF 109. And he's also got a 32 scale SU 27 from Academy. Out of the box stuff, Vallejo paints. So let's check this out. Nicely done. Ron just posted the Addams Family set on the Squadron Facebook page. And guys, if you're seeing this and wondering what Facebook page we keep talking about, if you're one of our customers, and then we check it based on your email address when you sign up if you've ordered from us. But you can go over to Squadron Scale Modelers on Facebook and join our private group. And it's all about models in there, just an extension of tonight's show, if you will.
Oh, more digital camo.
Yeah, that's very neat. Love those colors.
And in 30-second scale, that is a huge airplane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it really is. Wow. Very, very nice. Yeah, gosh. I'm starting to think I want to do something in digital camo after tonight.
Lots and lots and lots of little squares of tape.
Yeah. Well, guys, we're going to keep moving right along. I know we're running late tonight, but we're holding a steady crowd, so I'm going to keep on cooking. We got 3 more slides worth of pictures. So, Jason, I have not thought of that, but actually, I have new streaming software that I am learning how to use that has a little bit more capability than this current platform that I'm using. So I will look into that as an option, and we'll see between that option and my new software. Hopefully we'll get something figured out. All right, Jimmy's got some kits here, 35th scale T-34, a 25 scale Tiger 1. That must be the old Academy kit.
Yep.
An F-16 and an F-105 in 32 scale, some big planes. And then finishing up with a, well, not finishing up, 32 scale A-26 and a British Vosper. So let's see what he's got.
Brett, I thought that was funny. I got the joke.
Where are you talking about? Oh, I see. That's good. That's good. Very nice job on that. This is his 25th scale Tiger. It's a cool size, but I just, you don't have many other things to put with it, you know. I know the kit, and it's very nice. It's a very cool size. It's like the difference in building 48 versus 35th scale. Just a little bit bigger, a little bit more to look at.
You often wonder, if you could go back in time and be a fly on the wall when they decided they were going to, let's do this kit in 25th scale.
Right.
What made them decide, on one specific scale over another?
Who knows? Perhaps at the time, 25th scale cars were very popular. I don't know. Who knows? Here's your F-16, 32 scale F-16. Yeah. That's a big boy.
Yeah. In the Arctic aggressor scheme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Recon says that scale is still very popular in Japan. See, that's the other thing. Here in the States, we may be used to one scale, but and think of 76 scale. We don't even hardly look at that here, but that's huge in Europe. So that's a good point, Recon. Very nice.
Oh, he converted it.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I don't know if he mentioned that in his. Let's see. No, he didn't. But that's all right.
So he took a World War II A-26 and turned it into a A-26K or
Right.
they redesignated them B-26. I don't know if that held true by the time they got to Vietnam, but this is a Vietnam era
Right.
aircraft.
Now there's the Vosper.
Yep.
Nicely done on that.
Another big model.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those big boats are huge. All right. This is going to be Paul, 350th scale trumpeter kit, HMS Daring. All sorts of add-on goodies, Tetra and White Ensign and Veteran. Let's check this. Oh, no. Paul, I'm sorry, buddy. Yours is getting the same treatment that we've seen many other times tonight. So I will make sure to get yours added to next month's show as well. I do apologize. We'll move on to Pat then. This is a 24th scale, talking about other large scale things. This is his DR1. All sorts of goodies on this from Kingston Studio and Edward. So let's see what he's got here. Good view at the inside or the interior real quick. And there he is looking at you, Jeff.
Here's looking at you, kid.
Oh, man. Very nice.
You know, when you think about German World War I aircraft, you know, the triplane was nowhere near as numerous as, say, the Albatross, the D3, D4, D5s.
Right.
But it's just unmistakable.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was Snoopy versus the Red Baron that that kind of etched that into our collective minds when we were kids.
It certainly didn't hurt.
No.
That's funny. This is the only view we've got of Robert's submarine here. And take note, right behind where about 3/4 of the way back, there's a little figure standing on the base. It looks like a little black speck. But that's a 1/350th scale figure he included on the case for scale. So very, very interesting. So very nice job on that, Robert. Thank you for sending it in. Yeah, and Ron, good to see you, buddy. We'll see you next time. And guys, I do know we're running long tonight. So tonight will mark the last time that I don't have rules in place for the show and tell. And I'm going to be making a page I'll give to everybody. We're going to have a certain number of models we do. We'll cut it off. Anything over that will run to the next month, that kind of stuff. Because I really like to keep the show at an hour and a half or shorter. So I apologize for running long, but I do want to show everybody stuff tonight because I told you in the emails that I would. So we'll move on.
I've even cut back on my bad jokes by at least 50 or 60%.
Yeah, I completely cut Jeff's models out of the show and tell tonight. He doesn't get to show anything.
Yeah.
Well, here's Michael's. This is a nice job on this.
That has to go. It's such a great kit.
That was the only picture we had. Okay. Yeah, it is. And 32 scale again. So not a small kit. Steven, I don't know when I'm going to have Fletcher's back in stock. I just don't know. So we'll try to figure that out at some point soon, but I do not know for sure. I know that I will have some at IPMS Nationals. And other than that, I can't make any promises one way or the other.
Well, Stephen will be at IPMS Nationals.
Stephen, if you're going to be at IPMS Nationals, come see us as soon as the show opens, and you'll be able to get one because I've held a handful of them back to make sure that I have them there at the show. We've actually got several things that we've held back and several little surprises. So make sure to run over to our table first thing at the show to see what we've got. So here's Michael's Qatari kit. An interesting thing to note, he said he used no decals on this, including the stenciling. So very, very cool. Tim, the Facebook page is called Squadron Scale Modelers. if you go to our website at squadron.com and click on the Friends and Shows link at the top of the page, you will find a link directly to it. Let's see, I'll just take a detour real quick and show you this. Right here on our page up here where it says Friends and Shows, click that. This page, this button right here, Squadron Modelers Club. Yeah, Squadron Modelers Club. That's what it's called. All right. Back to your current programming. Nice view of the underside there.
Okay, so here's a little trivia question for you. You see that yellow square on the roundel?
I have no idea.
You don't know what they are?
I'm sorry to say I don't. And if I'm supposed to know, then I guess I'm about to be embarrassed.
No, it's something that most people don't know.
All right, well,
actually it's a gas patch. It's a gas patch.
Oh, okay.
That yellow will change color when exposed to poison gas.
Okay. Be a pretty cool trick if you could get your model to do that. But then again, I don't know why we would have poison gases around our models. So.
It would make you very unpopular with all the friends that you have at the show.
That's a good point. Oh, man.
Beat you to it, Ed.
Tim, if you're a customer, yes, you can get on the list. Just go in there and ask to join the club, and we'll let you in. All right, so here's Michael. He's got a few kits for us to look at. Luke Skywalker being one of them, as you can see. 48 scale BF 109, 48 scale Brewster Buffalo. So he says, all of my builds are representation just for having fun. So far, none of them have been historically accurate. Well, buddy, you and me are in the same boat a lot of times. Let's build some models for fun. That's what it's all about, right?
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?
Well, at 1/6 scale or whatever, I'd say he's really short. Or what? I don't know what scale this is.
That was one of the best lines of the movie.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's Luke. Bye, Luke. Moving right along.
Sorry, Brett. I haven't had much sleep. I'm kind of a little slap happy here tonight.
Well, you'll be hitting the pillow soon. We got a few more to look at, and we'll be out of here for the evening. I appreciate everybody hanging with us tonight. This is a good crowd, but got a lot of good models to look at, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Nice color on that.
Now, some will argue that the Brewster Buffalo was perhaps the worst fighter of World War II, but I'll tell you what, the Finns stripped all of the extra weight out of them and gave the Germans fits with them, or the Russians fits with them.
There you go. All right, well, moving along to Chuck. This is 72 scale. This is that Tacom Akagi flight deck set, and he's got 2 zeros displayed on it. We just got this one view of this, so take it in. Very
I
cool.
know this guy. How are you, Colonel? He's from up from my neck of the woods.
Oh, okay.
Prolific modeler.
All right. Well, looks like it. This looks fantastic. Wow. Very, very cool. Yeah, that's the only picture of that one we've got. So, very nice. Thank you, Chuck. Moving on to Chris over at TLAR Models. This is some of his own kits that he's built. A Moonbat and Mirage and some helicopters. Let's check this stuff out. A very small scale is usually what Chris is working with. All right. Nice look at that one there. We came to the end of Chris's slide right as the song ended. That worked out perfect. Well, thank you, Chris. Yeah, we planned it that way. Thank you for sending those, Chris. We got one view at Jesse's Sherman here, along with the Greyhound, and he says these were Gold Award winners at his contest up in Iowa. So, very nice job on those. Thank you for sending this picture in. Like I said, we only have one view of these, so. But the view we have is nice, so thank you very much. Now, up next, we've got some interesting looking kits from Roger. These are all the Hasegawa egg planes. So talking about doing something different, this is certainly something different.
This is certainly a model block project.
Yeah. That is a very, very good point.
Even if you build these models to, a high standard, fill the seams and do all those things, it still takes you back to that time when you were a 10 or a 12-year-old kid building models.
Right.
It does something. Yeah. It's like chicken noodle soup. It does something for the soul. I'm getting philosophical here.
Well, you got to when you're looking at egg planes, but like Steven said, they do look really cool. So, well, I appreciate you sending those in. Let's take a look at the Emperor's birthday celebration sent in by the Snafu brothers. Didn't get a name, but that's what we're going with. So this is a nice little diorama here. Just this one look at this one is all we've got tonight. All right, thank you for sending that. We're going to move on to Virginia's winter work. Got 3 pictures in this one and a couple more left in this slide. Then we'll be to our last slide for the evening. That's a very cool looking base you got going on there. Well, nothing like having good winter projects. Unfortunately, my winter project was also my summer project and currently is my spring project. Perhaps I'll finish it by next winter. Or maybe not.
I'm just going to let that one go.
Yeah, might as well. All right, Virginia, well, thank you for sending those in. Looks like you had fun over the winter. Ricky sent us a picture, maybe 2 pictures of his ICM kit of a 35th scale Cobra. And he said this one was built just like the one his father was in. So let's check this out. That's a very nice job. Was it displayed on a mirror? That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Gives a nice effect. Very nice. All right. Talking about interesting bases, Steve's got something interesting going on here, depicting a half track with a shell strike happening next to it. So there's a view of the half track itself, and here's the entire picture he sent. Got his matches going on, I guess. That's kind of, can't say that I've ever seen that done before. So very.
Well, if you want fire, that's how you get it.
Well, that's true.
I'm sorry.
That's cool. Oh, on the ship model wood decks, we say nothing looks more like wood than wood. Well, if you're trying to go for fire, nothing looks like fire more than fire. So very cool. Thank you for sending that in. Yeah, Bill says with real fire. All right, so here's Jack Smith and his Stalingrad diorama. So we'll check this out real quick, and this will be the last picture in this slide. Then we'll be on our last slide, guys, and I'll get you out of here for tonight. I, again, appreciate you hanging with us. Stephen says this picture is lit. Going back to the fire, that's funny. It's just true, though.
All right, Steven, stop being funny.
All right, this is a nice job here. Got a lot of stuff going on inside that building there. Yeah, that took a little time to get that all set in place. Very cool. And here's your last view of this one for tonight. Very cool. Well, Jeff, we're down to the last slide. Are you ready to see what else we've got in here?
If I can stay awake, yeah.
Well, I think you're going to want to see this one. This is Jose Rodriguez's build for the month. This is
another Arctic F-16.
Exactly. Yep. I knew we had two in here tonight. But this one is not quite as big. This is 48 scale. But let's see what he's done with it.
I'll tell you what. Of all of the schemes that they put on the F-16, I think this one is my favorite.
Really? Well, it's so different than everything else, and it just stands out. I don't know. I'm kind of agreeing with you. It's certainly one of my favorites as well. And this particular kit from Tamiya, this 48 scale aggressor, extremely popular kit. And I mean, it's a good kit, but that of all the Tamiya kits, this one, we have these headed out of the door more often than many of the others. It's just a popular kit, but you can make it look like this. Secret. What's that?
I don't build 48 scale. I build 32nd scale. And
right.
I have 4 of these kits in my stash. The 48 scale one.
Well, see, there you go. It's just a nice kit.
Yeah.
And Jose has done a great job on this, so I appreciate you sending this in, buddy. Looking forward to seeing what you've got cooking up for us next time. Always great to see your stuff. Send us the last 2 pictures here with a black background, so it's kind of interesting to see. Underside there. All right. Well, thank you, Jose. I appreciate that.
Beautiful work.
Absolutely. Anytime, buddy. Moving along, we've got Paul, and this is a 48 scale again, Accurate Miniatures Avenger. Very, very cool on the weathering. This guy, he's been through it, hasn't he?
Yeah. Another great kit.
A lot of these kits are now available as Academy models.
Yep.
They own all that tooling now. Yeah, nice job on this. Nice display base. Just a good build all the way around. Goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the weathering and the cars and all that. Just 2 totally different, methods of building models.
Yep.
Neither is better than the other. It's just 2 completely different ways of doing it, and you've done a great job on this. So thank you for sending that in. All right, here's the model block kit that I was talking about earlier. Jay Banks Haley built this little 24 scale, and he said it was a lot of fun and quick and easy build, and then he threw a Porsche kit in there too. So, but here's the
Porsche or poker. Sorry, man. I just had to do that.
I think it's Tamiya, but a little 24 scale robot here. This thing is tiny, but looks very cool. I love how he took the picture with the shadow in the back. Yeah. Danger, danger. All right, very nice. And here's his other one. I like I said, I assume this is a Tamiya kit. I don't know who else has got one of these, but and his last picture of this one, he wanted to make sure I showed off, so we'll get over there to that one.
Vaughn, no, I don't get to Telford. They don't allow me out of the country, so I'm joking. No, honestly, it's just it's never really been in the cards. It's just between work and family and kids and
Maybe
everything
one
else.
day. We always say maybe one day.
Yeah.
Here's this last picture he wanted to make sure everybody saw. He thought it was very cool. So, and I agree. It is a very cool picture, again, with the reflection on the ground. All right. Oh, looks like I'm going to have some messed up pictures again. So, Mike, if the rest of these are messed up, I will put it in next month's show. This is his 350th scale New Jersey, the modernized version. Now, those pictures look fine. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah. We'll have to put this in next month because this is a nice build and I don't want everybody to miss it. So there's an overall shot of it, but I'll grab those other pictures and put them in next month. But yeah, 350th scale New Jersey, modern version. Very neat to see these things. I always keep saying I want to do a World War II version next to a modern version. And maybe one day. Oh, that was it. I thought we had one more slide, but I see what I thought was a slide was Dad sitting in his chair. So I guess that wraps us up. Guys, if I missed yours, I truly apologize. Send it over to me again and we'll do it next month. I'm going to prepare some ground rules for the show and tell going forward so that we don't run so long. I hate keeping you guys so long, but thank you very much for sticking with us till the end. So we got to see everybody's builds. The guys who the pictures that were messed up, I'm so sorry, but I'll get those put in next month's show. And yeah, it's going to be great. I don't know. I guess next month's show, I guess it'll be the 4th. Yeah, June 4th, I guess, is when it'll be. We try to do the first month, the first Wednesday of every month. So I guess we'll keep with that and get some models built, send them to me, and we'll put them up next month. And I really appreciate it, guys. Jeff, I hope you have a good evening. And
I'm going to be asleep 5 minutes after this is done. So
well, good deal. Well, I'll go ahead and say bye to you, and we'll see you next time, Jeff.
Thanks,
guys. I appreciate it so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week at the AMPS National Convention in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. I'm looking forward to it. Hadn't been up that way for a show ever, I don't think. So make sure to stop by, say hello, and we'll have a good time. Y'all take it easy. We'll see you next week at 9 o'clock.